I'd like to obviously, thank our young men and young lady involved in our program. I'd like to thank our parents for your patience in this process. It has been a process. It's taken some time, and I'd like to thank you for that and for bearing with myself and us as we made a decision and we got through, like I said, this process. Some special thanks. We had a group of men that stepped up and took care of your sons and our young lady in our program throughout this time. And at this time, I'd really certainly like to thank Coach Dorsey, Coach Schumacher, Coach Perrone, Coach Nyberg, Coach Northam, Coach Walker, and Coach Reeves. You guys have done an outstanding job keeping this thing going, keep us moving in the right direction. And gentlemen, I'd like to thank you. Throughout this process that's taken a couple weeks, when you're looking for somebody to lead your children, our young men, our young women, in this process, we found someone that has head coaching experience, successful head coaching experience, and somebody that has a wealth of experience when it comes to dealing with young men, building programs at all levels. And we're excited to have our candidate here tonight and announce him as your head football coach. I'm going to give you some background on our new coach. He's won championships wherever he's been. He started out at Orcas Island High School, won a league championship at Orcas Island. Tenino High School, won a championship at Tenino High School. He's the former head coach of Central Washington University. He won a national championship as the coach at Central Washington. His quarterback was someone you might know. His quarterback was Jon Kitna. After Central Washington University, he went to Northern Iowa University as an assistant head coach. From there, he became the head coach at Western State College in Colorado. He got out of the coaching business at that time a little bit to raise some children and took a break. Got back into the high school coaching when he went to Tenino. Most recently, he was the head coach at Thomas Jefferson High School, and as recent as last year. Led Thomas Jefferson to their first league championship since 1962. Last year, he was named the All-Area News Tribune Coach of the Year. He was also the National Federation South Sound Coach of the Year last year. And a lot of accolades, certainly. But more importantly, this gentleman comes to us without an ego, somebody that is genuinely happy to be here, can't wait to get started, and I'm excited about that. I've been fortunate to spend some time with him and to get to know him a little bit over the last few days. Some of you guys are probably done listening to me talk and anxious to hear your new head football coach. I'd like to introduce the new head football coach at White River High School, Mr. Jeff Zenisek. The floor is all yours.
Okay, thanks. I can take off the girls' basketball hat now.
It's only White River thing I had in my office.
All right. It's official. They gave me a lanyard with keys on it, so I'm excited about that too. So I guess I'm somebody now. I'm excited to be here. I really am. The one thing that Chris kept alluding to is I did not do it. All right. Wherever I was a we thing. All right. I just happened to be the head coach, and that was all my role was. It became a we thing, all right? And actually last year, I don't know if you guys remember, we played you guys 3 different times. It was fun, all right? I was really impressed by you guys. That's why I applied for the job. We were a 4A school, and you guys were hammering us hard and battling us hard, so I was excited. I grew up in a small town in Wyoming, population 900, and from there I was able to go play college football and work my way into the position I am now. It was a very relevant experience because coming out of Wyoming, I was 6 foot, 175 pounds. and I was a stallion, just to let you guys know that, until I reached my first practice session, and I was a linebacker, and next thing I knew, I was moved to center at 6 foot, 195 pounds, because there was linebackers 6'3", 245 pounds, and so reality hit, and I said, all right, what do I got to do to get myself into those kind of positions where they're at? And it was working hard and never giving up and those type of things. So it was fun, all right? And I learned right away, all right, I wasn't who I was, but I worked my tail off to get to that point. And that was naturally from the background I was at with my family, how they raised me and my parents and that kind of stuff. So I am excited, all right, to see the parents here. Heck with you guys, I'll see you guys enough. But seeing all this support, it's huge. It really is. Like I say, I grew up in a small town, and I really am a firm believer it takes a village to raise a child, and that's why I'm so excited about this job. I applied 6 years ago for it. I pulled my name actually out of the hat because of the opportunity. There was no teaching opportunity. I still got to pay bills and that kind of stuff. So it worked out with going to Tenino and doing the things I did down there. Small community. The downside of that was I was an hour and a half from there, so when they had community functions, I couldn't be a part of it. And that's what a family is, and that's what a community is. So I'm excited. I'm only 12 minutes down the road, and it doesn't take very long to get here, which is kind of good and bad if I get a phone call and say, hey, I can't make it tonight, but now I can, so there's no excuses. But I am that small town family, and you'll hear that. You heard it last year from us, that whenever we made a break at the end with the team, it was always family. We had some good athletes, don't get me wrong, but we had a lot of high guys, and I was telling the coaches that. We had one young man, and I believe, I don't know if you guys there, it was when we were scrimmaging, the last scrimmage at Olympia, but I was sitting there talking as quiet as I could and chewing his butt because he was a selfish player, and I had to bring him down, and I brought him down in front of the crowd, in front of our kids, because he had that ego that, wouldn't give up. And so anyway, I think you guys were part of it. I know the coaches remember it. I remember the official finally saying, Coach, are you done? Can we get scrimmage? And I go, oh yeah, okay, we'll get going. So, but it was, and we had that issue on a game too, that he was yelling at our offensive lineman. So before we left that game, I said, all right, we're gonna sit down at this dinner table and we're gonna hash this out. And that's what we do. That's what we're a family. And I'll share a lot with the parents. I'll share a lot with the athletes, but we can't do it all alone. We can't do it. It wasn't me. It was a group of coaches. It was a group of players that all believed in one thing, and that's what we're going to believe in. It's Hornet football, all right? And we're going to believe in that. You'll hear a lot of sayings, all right? You'll see a lot of sayings about Hornet football. You'll hear Hornet Strong. What is Hornet Strong? Well, Hornet Strong is, all right, you're going to be in the weight room. That's not always strong. You're going to be getting good grades. You're going to be playing another sport. You're going to be doing the things that a high school player should be, and that's what you'll get points for everything that you're doing positively. We end up practice with ups, UPS we call it, but it's ups, and I'm going to say, hey, up, I don't know your name yet, before wearing a Nike shirt and a UW football, and we all clap for up, or someone doing a great block at practice, or someone hustling, or a coach doing a good thing. You'll hear that about being positive, and I'm a firm believer of that. There comes a time you'll get your rear end chewed and stuff like that, but it's not from an effort thing. It's probably from a lack of effort or an attitude thing, and I'm really strong in that. I was telling the coaches and they didn't enter, thank God they didn't ask me it here, but what my favorite moment was in football, and you would have thought maybe a national championship or something like that, and that wasn't it. It was my first year on Orcas Island. I'm sorry, I'm stuttering a little bit. I had a cavity. It's kind of numb over here. It's not from other things either. But anyway, my most favorite one was we won the sportsmanship award. And we were a B school, and we had won it over, back in that day, it was the 3A, the 2A, the 1A. So it was over 50, 60 schools, and it was voted on by the officials. And so that was my proudest moment. It really was. Because to me, that's an elite program, all right? That's where you want to be is, yeah, you put your helmet on, and it's you and I going against each other, and that's part of football. But it's also how you handle yourself. All right, and maybe knock you down, or you knock me down, you help them back up, or after the game, it's a great battle. That's the human nature, and that's what football's all about. And the same thing, it transpires not on the football field, but also in the classroom, right? Yeah, you're competitive, you're trying to beat your other buddy on the test if you get the, best grade, and those kind of things. It's competition, don't get me wrong, but it's what kind of attitude you have with it and that kind of stuff. So that was important to me, and then I go off onto the college ranks and blah, 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 and I go down to Tenino, right? So my first year we go 4-6, 6, I think it was, or something like that, and won our last 3 games. And I was coach of the year. I really wasn't, but I felt I should have been because I really was coaching my tail off. But the winners always get that kind of stuff. So they gave it out for forgiveness. But anyway, sure enough, we get sportsmanship award from the officials. I was like, right on, you know, the kids, and we were good sports and all that kind of stuff. And naturally, we were sour when we lost and stuff. So the next year we go 7-2 or something, and still the same type of players. But Rainier, who's just up the road from us, they didn't win a game and they got a sportsmanship award. I was, all right, I know how it works. You don't have to. They just want to make you feel good, right? Give them the participation ribbon, right? So that was shot out, but it wasn't because we won the league championship after 4 years there, and we got it again. So that's important to me. It really is about the sportsmanship. Everybody remember the King Dome? Is anybody old enough in here to remember that? You guys know what the King Dome was? Yeah, what was it? You're not. Good. King, right? Yeah. Anyway, I remember as a high school coach, I remember walking and we took, on Orcas Island, we took 4 players to go watch a game and then we headed back up there. But there was an important saying up there, and it said, attitudes are worth catching is yours. All right? And you'll see a handout I have. If you spell out A is, I think, number, I forget. Anyway, I handed it out, but attitude is worth 100%. And if you use the words in the alphabet, like Z is 26 points. If you do it, attitude is 100%. It really is. So anyway, I'll hand that out because that is important. It really is. Attitude is more important than ability. It is. As a college coach, you know, constantly recruiting, and you hear it all the time, you know, oh, that kid has great potential and that kid's a great athlete, but they never transpire into that, all right? And why? Because they never had the work ethic or the attitude to get to that point, you know. And I see it right now. We're at Thomas Jefferson. We had a great running back, not this last year, before. He just never had that work ethic, that drive, that attitude to get him where he needed to be. So that's important. It really is. And, you know, if you guys got a big heart and want to work, we're going to win a lot of football games, all right? You're going to get a lot of work out of me, and you're going to get a lot of work out of the coaches. That's one thing that I'm old school, all right, is work. And we're going to work hard at it. We're going to be, you know, Hornet strong, all right? And it's going to be all about Hornet football. Right? And we can go a long ways, all right? We can, and we're going to do it together, all right? There's not going to be this guy or this guy. We're going to do it together, all right? As a whole, all right? You guys are just as more important than they are, all right? In fact, more important because you guys pay the bills. So, at this time, any questions or anything anything of me? You know, I don't have a lot to say. I'm not a big talker. I guess a funny story is I interviewed for the Bonnie Lake job twice. And didn't get it, and I live 2 blocks from there, which is good. My son goes there now, and he wouldn't want me there, and my daughter did. But it was interesting after the second time I interviewed, and I kind of knew who was going to get it, but you go in and you interview, and you are who you are, right? And so I stayed at Tenino, and my wife is an elementary teacher there, and a gentleman come in, worked for the school district, came in to fix her projector, and he happened to recognize the name tag Zenisek. He goes, hey, do you have a husband named? Well, naturally, right? She wouldn't have that name, right? She's married. She goes, yeah, my husband, football coach. She goes, I was on the interview committee that interviewed him. And she goes, oh, okay. And he goes, man, we really like that guy. But she goes, well, what was the but? She goes, we don't think he's intense. Because when I interview, I'm just, you know, calm and stuff. She goes, you don't know my husband. Because I get after it. I really do. All right? I know I'm calm in here, but you'll see me, all right? I wear my heart right here, all right? I really do. You're going to get swatted on the butt for a nice job, and you won't get swatted on the butt for a bad job, I promise you that. But, all right, my heart's right here, and you'll know it, all right? You'll know it. I'll praise you and the coaches and all that, but, all right? I am who I am, okay? And you'll see my heart right there, and you know I'll care for you, and that's the main thing. So, some of you I won't find you. Just kidding. So, any questions at all, please ask. I know this is a meet and greet, but I'm here to answer questions too. I appreciate the interview and the committee. They did a good job, I think, because they hired me. So, but I think, what we got?
Well, on behalf of the What River Football Coach, we'd like you to have
Thank you.
a real.
There we go. Does your son play?
Right there, on the right.
He's got a starting job. Parts of that Hornet Strong is, everybody wants their jersey number, and I make them earn those kind of things. I mean, a lot of you guys grew up that you reap what you sow, right? When you come to harvest, it's however minute how much you sow, and same thing with us. We got to make it that way. So if you want a jersey number, whatever, 6, you don't just get it because you're a senior, or you don't get it just because whatever you were started last year. Every year's a new year. Every year's a new beginning, and you got to earn that back. You got to earn that right, and that's why those programs are traditionally strong, because there's that program. Like I guess we can talk. Who's a really good program in the state? 2A, Tumwater. You hear that program a lot, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, there's a reason, because they built those expectations and they keep those expectations. So you older guys that are leading, you're going to be leading on the field, I hope, all right? And those are expectations you're going to set for the younger guys and for the freshmen and for the 8th graders and actually for our youth football, all right? We're going to do what's called Hornets Heroes, all right? When we start our 2-day practice, the first 2 nights, we're going to have a camp for those young men. And guess what? You're going to write them a little note each week when they have a game, and somehow we're going to get it to the elementary school, and you're going to say, good luck, Johnny, or whoever your Hornet hero is. And you might have 2 or 3, but that's how you build a program, that we want them, all right, looking up to you on the football field and coming to a game. Same thing as you. You're proud, right, that they're going to be a Hornet eventually, all right? Same with the freshmen. I always was angry when you saw kids get treated wrong just because they were freshmen coming into high school. That's what families don't do, right? That's why we're family, right? Those freshmen are just as much as part of us as we are part of them. So you'll just see that within me and how I treat and how I present. So, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Coach is going to stay around, and he'll have an opportunity to talk to him and mingle around. And once again, we'd like to welcome Jeff, and best hand for Jeff Zenisek.